What's up, brand builder? Stephen Hurahan here at brandmasteracademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn what experiential marketing and branding is. So you can consider this as a legitimate tactic within your marketing strategy, give your brand awareness and your brand loyalty a boost, and give your audience something to remember you by. Now, if you are new to the channel and you want to build brands that go beyond the visuals using strategy, psychology, and creative thinking, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to fast track your results, make sure you grab the Pro Brand Strategy Blueprint. The link is in the description. Now, experiential marketing is another one of those marketing terms that tends to get cast to the side a little bit. And look, it is understandable. There are so many different marketing terms out there. And a lot of them do tend to cross over with one another. And experiential marketing does sound like one of those terms that some marketer created because he didn't like the term event marketing or he didn't like the term brand experience. But experiential marketing is its own tactic, and it's a legitimate tactic that you can take into your marketing strategy so that you can put your brand on the map. So what is experiential marketing? Well, it's a form of unique marketing that allows the brand to engage with the audience in a way that they wouldn't normally do. So these experiences could be a pop-up kiosk or a test drive with a limited edition car or an interactive billboard or some way that the audience can engage with the brand in a truly unique way. Now, the impact that this has is it leaves a long-lasting impression on the consumer, on the person in that experience, and it is shown to drive brand loyalty and brand awareness. And if you pull it off correctly, then you can earn media exposure as well. You can earn some PR to go with that. So it is a really effective way to drive brand awareness and to raise the profile of your brand if you can come up with a really creative way to give your audience a unique experience. So why use experiential marketing? Well, the first reason to use experiential marketing is really to get attention. You're doing something completely out of the ordinary, something left of center. And what that does is it provides a sense of uniqueness. It provides that real sense of novelty to the audience that, you know, they haven't seen something like this before. They haven't engaged with a brand in a way like this before. And as I said, that leaves a long-lasting impression and a long-lasting memory that will keep the brand top of mind for a long time. But the other reason that you would use experiential branding is to create an experience that will align with the position that you want to own in the mind of your audience. So let's say you have a brand that you want to align with energy, then you might create a brand experience or an experiential marketing campaign where you give that audience some kind of hit of adrenaline. So that is how you would align your brand with that feeling and with that experience and help to solidify that position in the mind of your audience that you are a brand that is aligned with this term. So what makes experiential marketing so effective? Well, it gives us that human connection that we actually crave. We're always looking for human connection, whether it's with other people or it's with the brands that we do business with. And 74% of consumers actually said that if they had a unique experience with a brand, that they would be far more likely to engage with that brand and far more likely to buy from that brand as well. So that is one of the reasons that it is so effective. And if you think about how we engage with other people, if you think about what we share with other people, we tend to share experiences that we've had in our lives with our friends, with our family. And if you have a unique experience with a brand, you're far more likely to share that experience with somebody else than, let's say, sharing an experience about an advertisement that you saw. So that is one of the unique angles of experiential marketing, that word of mouth marketing that evolves from this experience itself. People go on to tell their friends and family about it, and that's then picked up by the media. It might be picked up by TV or radio or newspaper, and that gives you that added exposure. So is it experiential marketing or is it experiential branding? Well, the term that is most common is experiential marketing, and that's all about gaining attention. It's all about giving the potential customers a unique experience so that they keep the brand top of mind. They position the brand in a very unique position in their mind and they associate that brand with a particular experience, but it can also be within the realm of branding as well. So maybe post-sale, you might have an onboarding process that will give your audience a unique experience, that will give that customer a unique experience, that will make them feel, I'm really glad that I chose this brand. So that might be in the form of a unique email or a handwritten letter or something to really give them that sense of novelty, that they are experiencing something truly unique and that really ties into the whole brand experience and the experience that you want your audience to have with your brand. So it's both experiential marketing and experiential branding. So how can you use experiential marketing for your small business or your small brand? Well, experiential marketing can be astronomically expensive, and I don't use that word lightly. I'll show you in the example next exactly what I'm talking about there, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that expensive, and it doesn't have to involve big budgets. Really, if you set your goal as giving your audience or giving your customers a unique experience that they will remember your brand by, that they will align your brand with, then that is what you want to achieve with experiential marketing. And as I said, it doesn't need to include big budgets. So for example, in the example that I gave you before, you might have an onboarding process where you write a handwritten letter or a handwritten note to every single customer that you take on. And that sense of tangibility, that feeling that somebody has actually taken the time to write out a thank you note or to write out a note to give them something valuable or some kind of unique experience, that really will stick with them. And you can also do this in the form of a personalized video. You can grab your phone, or there's software out there that can help you do that today, and welcome your customers through a personal video. And in a world where everything is automated and nothing is personal anymore, in that kind of world, that can really stand out. So really think about your audience, think about the experience that you want your brand aligned with, and think about how you can give your audience an experience like that. So let's take a look at an example of experiential marketing. Now, back in 2012, you might remember this, Red Bull ran an experiential marketing campaign called STRATEGIST, where they sent an Austrian skydiver up to the edge of the atmosphere and got him to jump from a balloon and broke the world record. Now, this was an example of an experiential marketing campaign. Now, there was nothing really physical or tangible about this campaign that the consumer really experienced, but 8 million people watched this live through the various streaming channels that Red Bull had. And what it did was it created massive PR and massive earned media exposure. So although 8 million people watched it live, they had over 200 million views. And in the next 6 months, sales rose by over 7%. So this is a perfect example of how experiential marketing becomes experiential branding. And it's all about leaving a unique memory in the mind of the audience. And that memory is part of the experience, and that experience is linked to the position that the brand wants to own. So the position that the brand wants to own in this case is extreme. Red Bull own the word extreme in the minds of their audience. And those 8 million people who watch that live, they will remember that moment for the rest of their lives. And it just goes to show how impactful experiential marketing can be. Now, let's bring this back down to earth for a second, pardon the pun, but small businesses don't have a budget to send people into space, but they don't have to. Remember what I said before, it's all about leaving a mark. It's all about giving your audience a unique experience, and that experience should align with how you want them to feel about your brand, what position you want them to own in the mind of your audience. And the more creative you get with this, the more chance you have of leaving a truly unique impact and a truly unique memory in the mind of your audience. So forget about big budgets for a second here. It's all about putting yourself into the shoes of your customer and understanding what experience you want them to have and what image you want them to align with your brand, and coming up with a really creative way to give them that experience so they will remember you and align your brand with that memory. But I'd love to hand it back over to you. I'd love to hear about any examples that you might have or any experiences that you might have had with brands that have left a long-lasting impression with you that really makes you remember that brand and makes you align that brand with that experience. I would love to hear any examples that you might have about that, or any challenges if you're trying to come up with an experiential marketing campaign or an idea to give your audience a unique experience, I'd love to hear from you in the box below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell as well. It'll let you know when I've got new videos coming out. If you want actionable brand strategy tips and techniques, head on over to brandmasteracademy.com. Get yourself signed up for the list. It's free and I keep some exclusive content for that list. There are plenty of downloads and resources on there if you want to get going with brand strategy. But as I said, I would love to hand it back over to you. I'd love to hear about your experiences, about your challenges. I'll do my best to answer all of those. Until next time, brand like a master, and I'll see you in the next video.